Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Throwback Thursday, where we are opening some old boxes. We've been doing this series now for like a decade, and we've probably actually already opened 1982 Fleer before, but it's been a long time. I picked this box up at the National. It is an authenticated seal box of 1982 Cello packs, and I think the last time I did a box of these, it was a baseball card exchange authenticated box. I think it was an 82 Fleer box, and there was a random like 81 Fleer pack in there, which was a really bad look for the baseball card exchange. But this one has been authenticated by Ripken Vintage Packs. And just looking back at my history here, I have not opened 82 Fleer on the channel in 7 years, it looks like. So last time I did a video about this product, it was uploaded on June 13th, 2019. So we've picked up a few subscribers since then. So we're going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about this set and see if we can find that Cal Ripken Jr. rookie card. So there's 660 cards in the set. These packs used to be 49 cents back in the day. You'd get 28 cards, which was about double the amount of a regular wax pack. Which is pretty cool. There's 24 Cello packs in here. You can see the 24 count right there. And it's a really nice condition box. Picked this up at the National. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and rip this open and see what we can find. And because the box is in such nice shape, I got to make sure that I keep this box in mint condition. Every now and then, when I'm doing these videos and we do these old boxes, it's kind of nice to just keep the box, and sometimes I'll just throw it up on the shelf for display. I know a lot of people that do that. All right, so here we go. There's our packs inside. Without looking at who's on the front of each, because it could be a Cal Ripken Jr. on the front of one of these, we're just going to go down each stack. So we've got our sponsors right here of the 24 packs. MWG is going to have our first one. We'll take the first three and let's work our way down. We start off with a pretty good one right there. Danny Ainge starting things off. Former basketball star, started out in baseball. Here's your look at the pack, all nice and wrapped up, all nice and tight. Pretty cool. You get 2 stickers in each one, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this and see what we can find. 660 cards. We'll be looking for all the big Hall of Famers. There's a notable rookie or a notable error card to look out for as well, and that would be the Littlefield error card. There's Tom Seaver. That's a cool card right there. Tom Seaver, 1981 for MWG. Who's got 3 of these. 1881 most wins. Don Sutton's a Hall of Famer right there. J.R. Richard. Some of the pictures are not the greatest. Some of them are a little blurry. Like that Chris Spire looks like a little bit of a blurry card. Here's our stickers. I don't know if those will work from back in the day. Seems like if you would try to peel that off, it probably wouldn't stick to anything. It would just fall right off. Vita Blue. Really good picture right there. Again, the big card that we're looking for is going to be the Cal Ripken Jr. There's Pat Putnam in there as well for MWG. Best card in that first pack was the Tom Seaver. We'll go ahead and put it into a penny sleeve there. And here's our next one. Neil Allen starts it off. I also like to look at the backgrounds of some of these cards and try to figure out what stadium it was taken in. Like, I don't know, that might be, I don't think that's Three River Stadium. Three River Stadium had blue walls, but maybe Veterans Stadium, who knows? All those cookie cutter stadiums of the 80s, 70s, and 80s. All right, here we go with this next one. Pack number 2, also for MWG, who has 3 of these. Jerry Royce, notice kind of a rough cut on the side of some of these cards. That happens from the blades that cut the sheets. Get a little bit dull. And then sometimes you get, kind of rough edges like that. Luckily, though, it's not in every single card. It's a couple cards here and there. We've got our stickers right there. Chicago Cubs. Looks like you could probably put a little poster together on the back, too. Those used to be fun. I used to do those with Garbage Pail Kids, which were the first cards that I ever really got into. There's a Terry Francona rookie card. Mark Clear, Juan Bonilla. And not too much in there. A lot of checklists in that particular pack. It's a good, I don't know how many checklists were in there, like 5 checklists. Back in the day, I probably would have been all mad about that. As a kid, I hated checklists. They're the worst. Checklist manager cards. Did not want anything to do with those. Nowadays, some of those old checklists from like the 50s and 60s, if they're unchecked, are a bit more valuable because so many kids would check off their checklists way before the days of the internet. And so to know who was in the set and what cards you needed, checklists were very useful. Here's MWG's final pack. Bake McBride with the nice flow there. There's Mike Stanton. Dusty Baker should be a Hall of Famer. There he is, Dusty. Bucky Dent. Some of the cards you'll notice are off-center. That's just a thing from this era. Some years and brands were much worse than others. There's Jim Rice. Nice Hall of Famer right there. Still no Ripken. When we do find the Ripken, there's Reggie and Dave Winfield. 2 Hall of Famers sitting side by side. 81 All-Star Game out there at the old Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. But when we find the Ripken, we're going to be looking at the centering really well. Take a look at that. There's Joe Nolan. For some reason, that card is way off center. It's like, not the card itself, but the image. It's like, who took that picture? Why were they, like, focusing on his hands instead of the player? Weird. I think there's a Jack Morris card in this set that is just really, really bad. One of the worst I've ever seen for centering of an image. So MWG with 3 packs. You're done. No Ripken in those 3, but thank you very much. Moving on, we're just going right down the stack here. Next one up. This box, I should probably say the year that we're filming this in because you might be watching it years down the road. 2026 right now after the National. Picked this one up at the Chicago National. And this box, as of right now filming, is a 44-year-old box. Isn't that crazy? It's been sitting in this box for 44 years. Makes you wonder where they were. I'll tell you what. These pass the smell test. Like, these smell fantastic. It's not... Sometimes when you open old boxes, they have a mildew smell to it. There's Gaylord Perry, all off-center, sitting there, all bored in the bullpen. Look at all those holes in the wall. Like, I'm guessing that's from wild pitches. Pedro Guerrero. Slugger, that was real early in his career. Some Sundberg without that. There's a Hall of Famer. Jim Cott, more near the end of his career. Another Hall of Famer. Tom Seaver. Johnny Ray right there. That probably is the River Stadium, I'm guessing. Ricky Henderson's 2nd year card. Very nice. Having some good luck here for some dog. Lou Whitaker's a good one. Mickey Rivers, Keith Hernandez, and Ken Griffey Sr. Ken Griffey Jr. was, what, only like, I don't know, like 11, 12 years old when this set came out. Maybe less. So, some dog, thank you very much. Next up, we got Legnauer coming up. Good luck. Let's see what we can do with our next one. All right, Legnauer. Still looking for that Ripken Jr. Rookie card, Gary Renickes right there. Tim Blackwell. There's John Tudor. Good old Jim Bibby looking all crazy in that card. There's Mike Scott. He had a couple good years. Rick Sutcliffe. I think he won the Cy Young Award in 1981, the year before. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe it was the year after, but Sutcliffe was a good pitcher. Dan Quisenberry, former lights-out closer with the Royals. Yankees little hat right there. Still no Ripken. Some of these guys, you guys are going to remember a lot better than I. I was 1 year old. There's John Littlefield. All right, so this is a pretty famous error card from back in the day. It was a reverse negative. He is a right-handed thrower, and the error card has this flip-flopped, 180 degrees, reverse negative. Unfortunately, that's the corrected version. So this box is probably from a little bit later in the 82 year, after they fixed that all up. I was hoping we'd see it, but Oh, well, next up, it's Buddha coming up next. Good luck, Buddha. Let's go ahead and see what else we got. In our next one, Tom Bergmeyer. I don't even remember that guy. Like I said, I was 1 year old when these came out. 1.5 years old. I didn't get into baseball like full-time, super heavily until 1989 when I was 8. Greg Nettles right there. Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer. Off center, unfortunately. Tony Perez, another Hall of Famer. Steve Carlton, way off center. 3 Hall of Famers so far in this pack. Not too bad. We got Dave Parker and Gary Carter right there. That card's actually on the front of the box. Lee May with the cap. You don't see players ever doing that anymore with their hat, with the helmet on top of the hat. I used to always do that when I was in Little League. I wouldn't want my hair touching, where someone else's hair touched, so I would always wear the hat. There's George Brett. I love that card. That's a good-looking card. That's also on the front of the box. It's a good pack for Hall of Famers right here. But unfortunately, that Ripken is just being real tough to find. So congrats on the George Brett and the Hall of Famers, Buddha. We're moving along. We got Rokron coming up next. Let's see where we're at in this Cello box by looking down. We've already finished off the first stack. Moving on to the second one now in this old Cello box. Man, these cards do smell fantastic. Whenever you guys receive these cards in the mail, give them a big old sniff. They smell like they're fresh off the printer. Pete Vukovich, the villain from Major League. It's pretty cool. You got a big acting role. Mike Cubbage going to become a coach. Oscar Gamble right there. There's Raleigh with the mustache for Rokron, Hall of Famer right there. Ricky Henderson, unfortunately way off center. Good picture right there. Most hits and the most runs in 1981. Probably also the most steals. It's good old Rusty Kuntz. Ozzie Smith. That's a nice card. Third-year card on the Ozzie. All-star infielders. Frank Wright and Bucky Dent. And Roy Smalley. All right, Rokron, thank you very much. Congrats on the Ozzie Smith. This Ripken's becoming tougher and tougher to find. Up next, Blumpy's taking 2 of these packs. Good luck, Blumpy. See what we can find for you on this Throwback Thursday. Let's grab the next 2 out. Would there be something if Ripken's on the front? Now, if Ripken's on the front, then you have a problem. Do you rip it or do you not? I know that if he's on the top, it's going to be worth a whole lot more. And if that does happen, I will probably keep it sealed. Ripken showing on top. I mean, that's pretty rare. I see that one on eBay with Ripken sold on top, showing on top, sold for $75. Not graded. But then again, you might want to open it up and grade the card. I feel like cards on top, though, might not grade as well as a card further down the stack. But you never know. All these cards look super crisp. Willie Stargell with the number 1 held up there. Hall of Famer Willie Stargell near the end of his career. I think his final card will be in 83. Just a year later. Johnny Grubb in there. Jim Wolford. And not much going on in that first pack, unfortunately, for Blumpy. But luckily for Blumpy, they've got 2 of these. So let's check your second one out. Also haven't seen the Nolan Ryan yet. Still plenty of packs left. Harry Spillman starts it off. There's Rod Carew making a nice play there. Hall of Famer. That's a good-looking card. Brian Downing, Dwayne Kuiper. Good old Gene Tennis the Menace. I call him Tennis the Menace because he's always ruining everything with Signature Series Retired Player Edition. There's always like a Gene Tennis, like 1 per case. Fergie Jenkins right there, Hall of Famer. Nobody wants a Gene Tennis autograph and you're paying... I mean, those boxes now are like $200 a piece on all those old Signature Series boxes. Next up, we got Tim with a nice run here. He's got 10 of these packs. So, Tim, I'm going to take the next 10 out. There's 1, 2, 3. Then I have this whole stack. There's now 6, 7, 8, 9. Taking this first one here, that's 10. So 10 packs for Tim. Thank you very much, Tim, for sponsoring a nice run of this video. Let's see if we can get you that Ripken. Haven't seen him yet. 1982 Fleer Ripken. Where are you? There's Dale Murphy. Ted Power right there. I never liked him that much, even when he was on the Pirates. Kirk Gibson, 1982, second-year card. Al Oliver was pretty good. Next one up, pack number 2 of the 10. The last couple packs are going to be mine, by the way. I didn't quite sell all the spots, and I didn't want to push this back another week. So I just picked this up, put them on sale last night, and we sold a bunch of the packs. There's Rick Monday, American hero, who saved the American flag from being burned. Goose Gossage, the Hall of Famer, off center. Robin Yount in the batting cage right there. I guess maybe outside of the batting cage. Tug McGraw. Perfect game. Barker and Diaz. It's Bo Diaz. I don't remember too much about Len Barker. Philly's Finest. That's always a cool card. You got 3 Hall of Famers on that card. Mike Schmidt. Actually, you know, I thought that was, for some reason, I thought it was Joe Morgan. I don't know what I was thinking. That's Lonnie Smith. Not a Hall of Famer. Good pinch hitter. That's about it. Brian Asseltine. Whoops. There's a name that I probably shouldn't have tried to pronounce right there. Carlton Fisk and Rennie Stennett. Best known for going 7 for 7 in a game way back in the day. I think that's still a record in a 9-inning game. Next pack, come on. Where is the Cal Ripken Jr.? There's Tim Raines' second-year card. Still looking. Pete Redfern. What a crazy name. Pete and Repeat. It's Pete Rose and Pete Rose Jr. That's pretty cool. The son would go on to be in the big leagues, too, for just a cup of coffee. Didn't really last that long. All right, on to the next pack. We're more than halfway through the box now. I'm starting to get a little nervous about the prospects here of finding the Ripken. There's Dave Parker, who's a Hall of Famer. Good old Bob Warner. Mike Scioscia. Scioscia was always such a well-respected manager. He just kind of disappeared. Jack Clark. It's a terrible picture right there. They're like zooming in on the umpire, ringing him up. Jack Clark, like, terrified. Awful picture right there. It's a cool picture, though. I like it. But not very flattering to Jack Clark. That's one of the, that could go underneath the cards that did him dirty checklist. Where it's just a bad or embarrassing picture of a player. There's Johnny Bench. That's a nice Hall of Famer right there. And Bobby Brown. We're down to 6 packs left for Tim. Let's see what we got coming up next. Harold Baines is on the back. That'll be his second-year card. Jerry Remy, former analyst with the Red Sox. There's Mookie Wilson. Fernando, he's on the front of the box. Dave Winfield right there. Ron Say, we got Eddie Murray, another Hall of Famer. Mike Schmidt, the Home Run King. Look at all that hardware he collected. 1981 Home Run King. He's got all kinds of awards. Can't even carry them all. He was really, really good. There's Clint Hurdle, former Pirates and Rockies manager. And Harold Baines looking up at the sky. I don't know what he's distracted by. Probably watching a bird going by or something. I don't know. Down to 5 packs left for Tim, and the Ripken Jr. is still out there. Come on, Cal Ripken. Phil Niekro, who's a Hall of Famer. Dave Kingman, who struck out a ton but also hit some homers. I don't know what Woody Fryman's doing there. Where is that picture even taken? He's like meditating in some sort of, like, I don't know, closet or something. What a weird picture. Steve Sachs. I always remember him from that episode of The Simpsons back in like 1989 or whatever it was. Where's Tommy Herr? Jerry Martin in the cage. Tony Armas. It looks like they took a lot of pictures in the batting cage back then. There's that awfully centered card. Jack Morris, like we can't even see the arm of the baseball. It's a terrible picture. Way like off center. Need to move that about 3 feet to the right. Bruce Sutter right there, another Hall of Famer, and Raleigh Fingers, not a bad pack. Multiple Hall of Famers in there. We're down to 4 packs left for Tim, and then we've got 2 more coming up. Is that Ripken on the back? I thought it said Ripken. Brian Kingman. Another Mike Schmidt. Great player right there, Mike Schmidt. Should probably sleeve that one up. Michael Jack Schmidt. He presented the MVP award at the All-Star game this year. He looks really good for being like almost like 90 years old or whatever. He looks like he's in great shape. You got Bobby Bonds right there with the Cubs. Barry's dad. Here's a nice one. Carl Yastrzemski near the end of his career. I feel like his final card was also 1983. Him and Willie Stargell. They were break in about the same time. Yastrzemski, I think, started a couple years before Stargell. Nice long careers. Always like to see those players that get 20 plus years in the big leagues. There's Barry Bonell. These days, you don't see that too often anymore. Players going 20 plus years. I guess Verlander is the last one I can think of. Next closest after him would be probably Max Scherzer. Scherzer's closing in on 20. There's another Yastrzemski. So 2 Yastrzemski cards. And good old Johnny Grubb once again. And we're down to the final 2 packs for Tim. Come on, let's get this Ripken rookie card right here. Haven't seen too many repeats at all. That was the first time I think I saw a repeat with those doubles of Yastrzemski. Dennis Eckersley is going to start it off. Pete Rose. That's a pretty good one right there. Pete Rose with the bowl cut as always. Nolan Ryan. There we go. Nolan, I like this card a lot. Centering's not too bad on it. Pretty close to dead on. That's a great hit right there for Tim. Congratulations. Well, if you can't find the Cal Ripken Jr., you might want to go after that one. There's Lee Smith rookie card. All right. Now we're going to flip it over and see if it's an error card. So I was like, what the heck, Mariners? Yeah, this is what I'm looking for, the Cubs logo. If it's reversed, that's an error. So Lee Smith, Hall of Fame rookie. Pretty good right there. Unfortunately, the Ripken is still out there. I feel like we've hit like every notable card except for the Ripken. Lee Smith, rookie, and that Nolan Ryan is a big one. Everybody loves that Nolan. A lot of Nolan Ryan collectors out there in general. We're down to the last pack here for Tim. Get that Nolan top loaded up for you. All right. Good luck, Tim. Here we go. Roland Office. Man, I've never heard of him before. Bobby Grich, Dale Berra. Steve, names from the early 80s. The good old Shooty Babbitt. It's a great baseball name. I don't think he played that long. Champ Summers. Bruce Sutter with a big old relief pitcher award right there. Joe Morgan, that's a good card right there, Hall of Famer. And we are down to the last couple packs. Unfortunately, no Ripken in there. Tim with the Lee Smith rookie and the Nolan Ryan. Eric is coming up next. Good luck, Eric Lindsley. We've got 2 packs for you. Then it's going to be 3 packs left. And if we don't find the Ripken, I'm just going to keep ripping them. Hopefully we can find it. Initially, my plan was just to take those, maybe toss them into a break or something. But Ripken is still unfound after these 2 packs. I'm going to keep going because we all came here to see the Ripken, I think. I want to see if we can get him. Old Dave Righetti. Not much going on in this one. It's been so long since I've opened 82 Fleer, I can't remember what the indicator cards would be for Cal Ripken. since 2019, the last time we did an 82 fleer. And back then, I did 2 boxes of this in one video. Here's the second pack for Eric. Let's see what we can do. Andre Dawson, nice Hall of Famer. Got the stickers right there. Jim Palmer pulled his autograph last night out of tribute. He's a nice Hall of Famer. Carl Yastrzemski, his 3,000th game. Man, was he around a long time. That's pretty great. There's Fernando. And still no Ripken. There are just a couple packs left. Let's go ahead and pull them out. Unfortunately, Ripken's not on the top of any of them. Steve Dillard is going to start this next one off. These will be all for me, so I'll probably take some of these and put them in our next single show. If I can hit any nice Hall of Famers. There's Gary Carter. I'll be taking these out to sell. Ken Brett, George Brett's brother. He looks pretty similar to George Brett. There's these. Oh, we got him. Cal Ripken Jr. There he is. How about this? The centering looks not all that bad on it. Very, very nice. This one might grade very, very well. So we'll break out the one touch on this one. Man, I always feel so terrible when it's me that ends up with the card. Like the box was sealed and everything. I had no idea that it would be down near the bottom. Cal Ripken Jr. There we go. Now this one touch is not acceptable. It's 75 point. I need something closer to 35 point to. Just gonna one touch it up because it's a card that might be worthy of sending in. I don't know. Let's take a closer look at it. So you might be wondering, what does a Ripken rookie card go for in a PSA 10 anyway? Well, let's look it up. It's not always easy to get a PSA 10, but sometimes your best bet is to pull one out of a pack. Ripken Fleer in a PSA 10. Let me find it. Well, an 8 sells for $58. That would be rough if you send it in and get an 8 after the grading fee and everything, which right now the grading fee is just wouldn't even be worth it at all. You'd be losing money. This is a card you'd probably have to hold on to and then wait for those grading fees to come back down after PSA gets all caught up. What do they want right now to grade just a card, like $80 or something like that? Yeah, so looking at what a PSA 10 would go for based off of recent sales, $4,272 sold on May 17th. One sold on June 8th for $4,106. Really tough to get a PSA 10, though. It is always worth a try. I don't know. Looks pretty decent. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I see maybe is there a tiny touch of white right there? Which is probably just a cut from the, the cut. The blade's not being sharp enough. Cal Ripken Jr. All right, moving on. And by the way, I'm curious about these stickers. See, it's not even sticky. Told you, if I wanted to stick this to this, it doesn't, there's no adhesive there. I mentioned that earlier because I tried to put some stickers on years later from Fleer and they didn't do anything. So if you ever want to use these, you're better off not even doing anything with it. These other 2 packs, we'll go ahead and probably do something with it. I don't think I'm going to open them up because we hit all the big cards in this video. So that's all we have for you for right now. We did hit the Ripken. It looks pretty darn good right there. And very, very nice. Cal Ripken Jr., thanks to everybody that participated. And we will have more Throwback Thursdays coming in the future. And I hope that if you were thinking about grabbing a spot in this one, I wish you would have. There was a few spots left over, and the Ripken ended up coming out there in pack number 22. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. If you'd like to check us out for our next Whatnot show, we go live usually 4 nights a week. We'll be live tonight for a bit, starting probably around 6 or 7 o'clock at night, doing some breaks of Tribute and Chrome. And then we're also live on Fridays, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 4 nights a week. Get signed up if you haven't signed up already. use this link right there, whatnot.com/invite/jabsfamily. Scan the QR code. It'll take you to the same spot. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening. And we will see all of you later. Good night, everybody. Upon further consideration, I just wrapped up that video. I was so happy that I pulled this card, but it just doesn't sit right with me that I'm going to be taking the best card. I think it's going to grade very, very well. So here's what I'm going to do. This card, I'm going to give it away tomorrow in our Whatnot live stream Friday night to one of the participants in this break. So I'll take all your names and I'll do it live. I'll put your names in a randomizer. It'll spit out one of your names and I'll send this card to you. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and this Cal Ripken Jr. is going off to one of these participants in this break. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.